Good afternoon, May 27th, 2025. My name is David Knox, and I have multiple system atrophy, MSA. I wanted to make this video for a while, but I was chatting with a few friends of mine on Facebook about MSA, and this lovely woman was asking me some questions about how to do this, how to do that, best recommendation. I have to be careful because I tell people, I'm still useful. I'm 45. I'm 4 years into MSA, but I've been active my whole life, so you can't compare me with a lot of people. Uh, I haven't run marathons or anything, but basketball, football, things like that, golfing. Uh, it really caught me was asking about walking. People with MSA eventually lose balance, control their gait, right? They slide left and right, they fall over, they tip, they walk drunk, and that's common. And nobody has told you the secret to keeping your walking if you have MSA. Nobody has shown you what I'm about to show you. It's so simple that I'm surprised more people don't get this, right? But again, you have to look beyond the wheelchair, beyond the cane, beyond the walking aids. You have to look beyond that and see what else can I do besides getting into these devices. Because once you're in these devices, you're probably stuck in them for the rest of our lives with MSA. So the secret to walking, the secret no one has told you, is the selection of your shoes. And I might be a little bit at the beginning of this, what I'm about to say, but just imagine it with me. Me and my wife go out to an event. We go out to church. We go out to a nice party, whatever. I wear my dress shoes. Most of my dress shoes look all the same. They're flat bottom, small heel, maybe a little color and bling, But women's shoes are the worst that men have to worry about going to parties is slipping on the shoes, right? Having very nice shoes and it's smooth leather on the bottom, which is really slippery. Women, however, have multiple types of heels. So my wife and whomever will go to parties will have high heels on of some type, right? And most women at some point don't stay in heels all night long. They will take them off at some point and convert down to sandals or um, I don't know, platforms, something that's easier to stand on. Why do they do this? Because their ankles hurt and stability. The more your ankles get tired and they hurt, the more you lose your stability. The same thing is the truth about men, except we don't have heels in general like that, right? The only heels that we have would be on the dress shoe, and they're very small. So it's not a thing for us. So what I'm about to tell you applies not only to men, but also to women. And here's the secret. The problem number one, which is really the only problem we have, is I can't walk straight because I keep tipping over or I can't maintain my balance. Well, as my mom would say, David, you have too many shoes. And there's a reason for this. If I'm looking for stability, right? If I don't want to fall left and right and forward and backwards, and I'm going out somewhere, and stability is my biggest obstacle, whether it being traveling in Europe or on a cruise ship or something that's rocky, slippery, uneven roads in Mexico, so sidewalks. There's one type of shoe that I'm going to go for every time to make sure that I don't tip over for no reason. And it's a shoe that is similar to this. This is not showing off. This is just showing you shoes. These are LeBron James shoes, right? And the first thing you might notice is, wow, look how wide these shoes are. These are basketball shoes. These are high tops. Might even call them mids, but they're high tops, right? I only wear full bubble shoes for support for my back, my back and my knees, which helps out a lot. But these shoes are very wide. Now, what they do is since they're so wide, they keep me from falling left and right and forward and backwards because of how wide this shoe is. The only problem with this type of shoe is that with basketball, you're going for stability. You do not want to turn your ankle, break your ankle, right? And crossing somebody over to drive to the lane, you want your shoes to be very wide on the outside so they can grip. Your feet don't slide out and fall on a basketball court. The only problem with this type of shoe is that it does not flex very much. I can't flex it hardly at all. So when you're walking with this type of shoe, there's a greater chance as you're walking, you're going to hit the concrete or asphalt with your toes because you can't bend the shoe upwards to avoid that. But this type of shoe will keep you steady and upright without the assistance of anybody. Great shoe, okay? Again, not all basketball shoes are the same, but in this case, they serve a purpose. Now, if I'm going for something more, I want to still maintain my balance, but have a little more flexibility with me. Say like going to the mall, I go down to more like a mid type of basketball shoe. It's not as wide, not even as close, right? Again, different types of shoes, but these ones actually flex a little bit more than the other ones. So these ones give me still a little wider, little wide width to maintain support, but they flex a lot more so that I can actually not hit my toes as much on the ground because we drag our feet with MSA. Okay. Now here's where the good part comes in. If you got this far, here's the secret. Those shoes will keep you from falling left and right, forward and backwards because they're wide gate, wide base. MSA, you want to move to a running shoe. I've been around Europe and North America with MSA, and I can tell you having flexibility is everything with MSA because we drag our feet. So having a shoe that will flex that toe, a running shoe, and if I had all my weight inside the shoe, the whole thing would flex. It's great. This type of shoe, Nike, like Flyknits or whatever, they give me the most stability for a running shoe with the most flexibility. Makes it easy to walk. These are the shoes I took down in a cavern, like in San Antonio, the caves, the caverns. Not necessarily the best thing for water and with slippery surfaces, but you see they do have some traction on there. Now, if you pay attention to the soles, there's separate modules, and that's where the shoe will bend at. So it does bend along its entire axis here, making it easier to walk. But this isn't even the best shoe that I have. I'm not talking about money either. This one is my go-to right now for everything. Coming out of the winter, in the spring, walking on every surface in Northwest Indiana. Okay, so great shoe I use every day right now. The other shoe, the best one in my opinion, would be a Vapor Max Flyknit running shoe, Nike running shoe. Right, Vapor Max Flyknit. Very, very meshy. Nothing is sturdy about this top. It is very, you flatten the shoe out. Okay. But narrow. And if we look at the soles, they're made differently. This shoe is made to flex the entire way, all the way, as you're walking. So there's no chance I'm ever going to hit my toes and fall because of this shoe. Right? So if I want the most flexibility because I'm going somewhere that's dry, it could be uneven, but as long as it's dry and I feel my legs feel good for walking, this shoe would be the number one for me to wear. I know for my wife, a lot of her shoes are for comfort. Well, not that I turn into a woman, my shoes are all. I'm starting to be like that. I have to get shoes that do certain things. I don't wear work boots anymore, like to mow the grass or whatever, because the work boots are too heavy. They drag my feet down, and I will definitely trip somewhere somehow, no matter what. So I have to have lightweight shoes, very lightweight, and Vapor Max Flyknits are some of the lightest shoes in the market, and they're very, very good quality. But if you want to maintain your walking, you have to have different types of shoes to accommodate that. Even if you don't play basketball, having a nice wide pair of basketball shoes will keep you upright. You don't understand how these shoes will help anchor you into the floor. Even on a cruise ship that's going back and forth, you're not going to move. Your feet are going to help you with movements left and right. Not so much forward and backwards, but left and right. All these other walking running shoes will help you with forward and backwards, with flexing, so you can actually move your feet. I want to make it very important to you that the key to my walk, continuously walking and being able to walk, is only because I have the right shoes to accomplish such a thing. And you have to have the right thing as well. Okay, just like women have different shoes for different reasons, and they take them off at different times for different reasons, we have to also think outside the box. What else can I do to keep walking? What else can I do to maintain my balance? Right? It doesn't always have to be a cane. Walking aids are nice. They're very nice, but if you have the right shoe, it will negate most of your walking issues. You just have to lift your foot and place your foot, and the shoe will take care of everything else. So I implore you to try thinking outside the box. Go trying some different pairs of shoes, even if they cost you a little bit more money. They are worth their weight in gold of how nice they actually are and what they do for you, right? The worst thing we have to worry about with shoes is dragging our feet and rubber scraping against the ground, like in a mall, and we almost trip because we hit our toe too soon, right? Because of MSA. I promise you, I've done so much better for so much longer, not because I'm better than you, not because I try harder than you, but because I know something you don't know. And that is you have to have the right shoe, no matter what you think. Please try it. I know you'll enjoy it, and you will see what I mean. As soon as you try like a basketball shoe, like the LBJ ones, or whoever, once you try an actual basketball shoe on, you will notice your stability. You're not going to go sideways for sure. Maybe forward and backwards, but not sideways. And these are the secrets we need to maintain, to continue to progress, to maintain our walking ability as long as possible. I wanted to share this with you. It's literally a secret. Nobody talks about this, right? It's you stop walking, you go straight to a walking aid or wheelchair. Don't do that. Don't stop walking, but change the way you walk by the methods with the shoes. And obviously, if you need assistance, you need assistance. But use your walking aid, get used to the shoes, and you will see exactly what I mean and how easy it is to maintain your walking ability as long as you have your leg muscles. Once you stop walking for whatever reason, you lose your muscle memory in your legs. Shoes are not going to help you. They can help you regain it, right? They can help you regain some muscle memory and more muscle mass and strength, but don't lose it in the first place. Don't lose your muscle memory, your muscle mass in the first place by not walking because you're scared. Get the right shoe, keep walking, and walking will be the least of your problems. You can focus on the big problems you have with say. My name is David Knox. If you appreciate this, like and subscribe. And I appreciate your comments. I love you guys to death, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.